Hello friends, hope you're well. Welcome back. My name is Pat and this is the Dirt Report. Tech and telco news from all around Australia and some international tidbits. Come for the dirt, stay for the report. On today's episode, we have NBN Co's discounts adding in RSP churn, Aussie Broadband white label services, Google misleading people. That is news to me. And on the international side, New York to get cheap broadband and Starlink to go fully mobile. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like this video if you did. As always, it helps the YouTube's mysterious algorithm. And if you'd like to support us further, you can subscribe, of course. And lastly, if you want to earn points, redeem them for cash cards at places like Bunnings and like to be in the draw to win $1,000 in the monthly raffle, then join the NBN Nielsen Research Panel. All you do is share your NBN Internet performance stats and get rewarded. Link to sign up is in the pinned comment below. Let's roll the intro. NBN Co has done a bit of a doozy and is getting called out by Aussie Broadband's Phil Britt. Now, Britt has been on a bit of a call-out tour, finding every excuse to be on the third page of the internet, so expect a few more Aussie Broadband topics today. After all, Aussie Broadband has a stake to lose now. They have floated. Got to keep that boat above water after all. Now, back on topic. In this case, what Britt has called out NBN Co about is actually pretty fair, in my opinion. NBN Co has been trying to get users to upgrade their connection to the higher, better earning plan for both RSPs and NBN Co, anything above 100 megabits down. This call to upgrade still depends if the subscriber line can handle such a speed. The good news is that as of late, fiber to the node has been getting better. On the other hand, fiber to the curb can generally hit the higher numbers, while fiber to the home and HFC has an open door on what plans to activate. As you may remember, a few months ago, NBN Co started their Focus on Fast campaign, in part to let the public know hey folks, yes, you can upgrade, spend more money, and maybe you'll get faster internet speeds. Some would say it's not all about speed. There are other aspects, like stability, customer service, and price. Well, some would be wrong. Now, I am joking. I think price and service is certainly a reason to choose what plan and what provider you go with. The Focus on Fast campaign wanted folks to upgrade their plans to at least 100 down plans. This meant NBN Co also gave a slight discount to RSPs to pass on to their retail customers to make the change a bit more inviting. The problem that grew out of this, and it exists in many other industries, only new customers get the good deals during this marketing blitz. Now, everyone else is left to fend for themselves. And no, Janice, no one cares that you have been banking with the same bank for 35 years just because your husband is dying of cancer and the expensive insurance you've had for over 20 years doesn't cover him. There's no excuse to be $2 short on your monthly mortgage payment. So yes, we are taking your house and selling it to cover the $2 shortfall. Anyway, a mass exodus of price-sensitive churn has been breeding within the RSP world. NBN customers are swapping over to other providers to get a better price on their 100 down connections and higher, as those competing RSPs offer those better deals because their current providers do not pass the deals onto their current customers. Now, swapping NBN connections is super easy and generally can take around 30 minutes, and Britt's bucket of high-end customers is starting to leak. Those who are paying for 250 down plans and up are finding better deals with providers like Superloop, who give their new customers access to those new discounts. The problem I see here is that Aussie Broadband is not the cheapest out there anymore, and it is being undercut. Since the underlying service, the NBN, is the same for all RSPs. Customers are jumping across the pond due to the price difference, and guess what? Aussie Broadband also has the same promotion, and they too would be getting people jumping across to them. They're also forgetting about the service quality, of course, and jumping to other providers like, let's say, IronNet or Dodo is a bit risky depending which POI you are connected to and how much CVC they've purchased for that area. Here is what Phil Britt had to say. We are seeing a skew towards higher plans, so I guess the positive side of Focus on Fast is that it has led customers taking up higher speed tiers to where they might have normally selected the 100 megabits down. They're choosing the 250 megabytes or gigabit speed tiers. So maybe it's not all bad, and it's the way the NBN world will cycle now, swapping around providers. Let me know your thoughts below. In the spirit of Aussie Broadband, let's talk about their new service offering. Again, I believe this is all to do with their float, creating as many avenues to profit as possible. After all, the float, I believe, was to raise capital to build their own fiber, but we'll see what happens. Here is what Managing Director Philip Britt said in the press release. We have built scalability into our network and support platform to take an additional white label customers, and it is an important pillar in Aussie Broadband's growth strategy. The new service announced is their white label service. What What is a white label service, you may be wondering? Well, let me give you an example. Here, TMP, the TechManPat NBN service with the logo and colors, and I can sell you an internet service for your NBN connection. What the white label allows me to do is resell Aussie Broadband service, letting Aussie take care of billing, support and other services, and all I have to do is the sales and marketing under my brand. To support me, I suppose. It's pretty cool. Comment below if you want to see me try. I have a slight feeling based on their blog post this week that I am in no way the target market for this, but it would be pretty interesting if YouTubers would have their own internet service provider brand. Here are some highlights from the blog post. The company has already signed its first white label customer, a large retail business with more than 3 million customers across Australia. For commercial reasons, the customer cannot be disclosed. I wonder who it could be. As part of this agreement, Aussie Broadband expects to transfer more than 25,000 of the customer's existing broadband and VoIP services to its network. Managing Director Phil Britt said the whole white label solution has been in development for months. It would be interesting to see what effect this has on other RSPs. Many already do this sort of thing with mobile plans where you sign up and use another provider's network. For example, Aussie Broadband resells mobile plans on the Telstra network. Let me know your thoughts below. Let's jump into our next story. Many of you may be shocked to find out that Google has lied. Or rather stretched the truth so hard it generated a singularity that no particle or even electromagnetic radiation, such as light, can escape from it. Google itself is a black hole. Well, the black hole that swallows up everything around has lost a fight against the ACCC this week. The Federal Court of Australia has finally ruled that back in 2017 and 2018, Google misled customers about the way they collected and used personal location data. Google had a setting called location history, on or off, when you set up a new Google account. The setting itself was to give you the ability to decide if you want to share your location information with Google. How quaint. The problem was that there was another setting hidden deep in the bowels of the ever-changing Google settings page called Web and App Activity. This setting enabled Google to collect, store and use personally identifiable location data as well, and this was on by default. What Google did there was a bit of a bait and switch, show you one button that does nothing while hiding the real button somewhere else. Now, it is not clear whether this was an error in design or by design. You would think that Google can afford a bunch of QA folk to pick up these discrepancies. More or less, it's about settings not doing what they are supposed to do. So you would think it might be a bug? Now, the ACCC targeted the mobile Android ecosystem in this case, and while settings exist in other places, the way a person sets up an Android device for the first time is the same on every Android device, no matter the manufacturer. Hence, it was clear it was under Google's control. The problem is that Google failed to inform people on how they would be collecting their location data, and they failed to explicitly ask for the consent to do so. After all, it's okay if you agree to it, but it has to be pretty darn clear. Now, according to the ACCC, even when the user went to the Web and App Activity, Google did not make it clear that that setting had anything to do with location data. While other countries face the same issues, many do not have a body that is so in tune with the world like our beloved ACCC. And I mean that in this case, like honestly, they've done really well. Here is what the ACCC chair, Rod Sims, had to say. Man, I really want to shake that guy's hand. This is an important victory for consumers, especially anyone concerned about their privacy online, as the court's decision sends a strong message to Google and others that big businesses must not mislead their customers. Today's decision is an important step to make sure digital platforms are upfront with customers about what is happening with their data and what they can do to protect it. We are extremely pleased with the outcomes in this world-first case. Between January 2017 and 2018, consumers were led to believe that location history was the only account setting that affected the collection of their personal location data, when that was simply not true. Companies that collect information must explain their settings clearly and transparently so consumers are not misled. Consumers should not be kept in the dark when it comes to collection of their personal data. In addition to penalties, we are seeking an order for Google to publish a notice to Australian customers to better explain Google's location data setting in the future. This will ensure that customers can make informed choices about whether certain Google settings that personally collect the location data should be enabled. In the not-so-sexy fight for your privacy, the ACCC caught a big red herring. Good on them. I have linked the full ACCC announcement below for your reading pleasure. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you find the Android permission system to be unclear and rather tricky to navigate and understand? We'll chat there. Well, there will be no misleading on where the next news comes from. It's time for some international tidbits, so make sure you like this video if you did and subscribe to see more and support us. Let's jump into our next story. A short one. The internet should become a lot more affordable in New York after Governor Andrew Cuomo signed a bill that requires all internet service providers operating in New York State to offer a $15-a-month broadband option for low-income consumers. According to the New York Assembly member Amy Pollin, the average price of broadband in New York is currently $50. This new bill caps the price at $15 for regular broadband and $20 for high-speed broadband, but only for those who qualify as low income. That's still over 7 million people in 2.7 million households, according to a press release out of the state. Something I think the Australian NBN could have a look at after the expire of the human malware low-income NBN package in January this year. Finally, onto our last story. The exciting announcement that Starlink is live for at least 1/4 of the Australian landscape. A big question has been on people's mind. Well, can I just pick up my dishy dish and run away into the middle of nowhere and still have internet? Well, the truth is somewhat not that exciting and rather limited. It's not that it's locked to your address, it's locked to a service zone. Starlink's mobility is limited by its satellite coverage and the firmware loaded into your device based on the address you ordered. Each zone is shaped like a hexagon. It's around 25 square kilometers. So depending on your addresses and where it sits within that assigned hexagon, the hexagons do not change, it denotes where you can take your dish and still stay connected. So as long as you camp out within that zone, you have connectivity. Well, this is about to change. Starlink is going to be bringing out a new product, probably priced differently, but one that will allow you full mobility within the active hexagons. Elon Musk tweeted that it isn't about connecting their Tesla cars to the Starlink network. The device apparently is way too big. This will be for aircrafts, ships, large trucks, and RVs. And it's the RVs people are most excited for. As a side note, some commentators in a previous video about Starlink on this channel kept pointing out to me what I said, that the dish can be taken anywhere. They pointed out that no, you cannot, because it is GPS locked. Well, that's not quite right. Let me clarify. First of all, it is not GPS locked, but rather zone locked. And secondly, this is a limit set during the rollout phase, and SpaceX and Starlink have stated that once fully rolled out, you will be able to have mobility. Now, what I don't know is how it will fit within this new mobility product. And on that interesting notion of watching Netflix in the desert of Australia, I bid you farewell. Make sure to tap the like button if you did like this video and subscribe to support us. Lastly, if you are interested in sharing your NBN speeds and stats and get rewarded for it, then the link to sign up to the Nielsen Research Panel is below. Thank you again to everyone who subscribed. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. I'll see you all next time.